Good morning, my YouTube familia. Once again, I'm back. Recently, I recorded some videos where I talked about linguistics and where, in particular, I talked about multilingualism and the importance thereof. So, in today's video, I want to talk about football. You know, I mentioned when I introduced myself that there are three things that I am involved in. Amongst others, I talked about the academic side of things, I talked about the footballing side of things, and then I also talked about me as a father. So today I'm here at the Khoekhoe Stadium. So let me just show you around the stadium quickly. So this is how it looks. So this is the Khoekhoe Stadium. So I'm here. This is how it looks. And yeah. So this is how it looks. And so I said I will talk to you about football in general. So there are a few pertinent topics that I want to discuss. One is with regard to some of the challenges that we have got as second division owners, and yeah, so some of those challenges, you know, amongst other, just to start off with, issues around resources. It's extremely difficult to run a second division football club because of the financial resources that you need. And as you may be aware, Namibian football is still at a very lower end of things, whereby we are mainly amateurs. So we are amateurs, and so we are in the second division. So I am the chairperson and the owner of Mighty United Football Club. And what we actually do, we are trying to bring organized football to our village, Khoekhoe. And so far we have been successful in doing that, because in the past we used to have second division matches here, but in recent years we didn't have any second division football matches because of various reasons. And yeah, the stadium was not compliant with the regulations, so we couldn't organize second division football matches. But now things are changing, and we are trying our utmost to improve the stadium, as you can see. So later on I will just show you how the stadium currently looks, and to talk about some of my the coaching philosophy that I am following. I'm following what I would deem the positional approach, positional theory, whereby where you are on the field matters for me. So that's the philosophy that I follow, and I must say it is quite successful, given the fact that in the past 3 seasons as a club, we ended number 2 in the stream, and so it's only last season where we ended number 3. But that one, there was a particular match where we played Bibo Brothers from Mariendal, and that match was significant in a way that we defeated them in the first leg, and then 1 weekend or 2 weekends after that, we were playing them for the second leg. And so it was quite tricky, because we beat them 1-0, so we just needed a draw in order to end up number 1. But then when we lost that match, we knew from the onset that it was impossible to be the stream winners, because Bibo was extremely strong. So if we couldn't do it on our own, then you know, it would have been very difficult. So that's basically, I mean, some of the things that we are dealing with. And yeah, so talking about some of the challenges, I mean, the biggest challenge, or something that I really want to discuss, is the issue around bush football tournaments, whereby, you know, someone, if you are financially resourced, then such a person would just would under normal circumstances just pick up a phone and then would call players, you know, random players. And what actually happens is that they end up with regional teams, you know. So instead of playing a team that has got players, it's this one is quite difficult, because now these guys, what they would do, you know, they would call the best right back from, let's say, from the Namibian Correctional Services, best left back from Marindal Sports Club, the best center back from Bibo Brothers, the best, and so on, you know. So, and now they sit with regional teams, you know, teams that are extremely strong, that that could even represent the regions. So that's partly the reason why some of us are extremely reluctant to play bush football tournaments because of its unfair nature. And then the other thing also in Namibian context is the clubs that are owned by the government. You know, they are using so what they are doing is, I mean, they are utilizing government resources to compete versus the civilians and or civilian clubs. So that to me is also a challenge, because here in this space, some of us are fortunate, but there are instances whereby some teams can afford transport, for example, and then they use pickups where I mean, even 20 players are actually put onto those pickups and so on. And then here you have got a government finance team, I mean, well-resourced. They come with the taxpayers, transport, and even when it comes to player acquisitions, it's quite, easier for them, because they would promise players jobs and all that. We don't have that. In the second division space, it's quite complex. So such clubs, I mean, they have got an unfair advantage. I know FIFA talks of financial fair play, financial fair what, and so on. But when it comes to such clubs, bankrolled by the government in a way, it's complex. It's one of those things that hopefully, NFA would look into. In the future. I mean, FIFA does that. We know of instances at least whereby they are not allowed to have two clubs, I mean, in the same division, but that's about it. That's about it. I mean, not having two clubs in the same division, that's about it. What we want is, we want to compete with, clubs that are not resourced or, I mean, financed by the government. So that would encourage, I mean, some form of competition that is fair. Because the current one is not fair, whereby someone uses government resources to compete against civilians. That one is not fair at all. Anyway, it is there. We are continuing, and hopefully one day, I mean, we would look into that as well. So talking about some of those challenges. So I mentioned those two: the issue around resources, and then issues around the bush tournaments. So the other thing also is, currently, I mean, what I have also realized is the issue of alcohol and drug abuse among football players. These are amateur players, and it's complex. It's not only from my side, I mean, from the Mighty United football players, but generally football players are using, I mean, these substances, and so it's a struggle. We are doing our utmost to keep them away from it, but still someone would sneak out and continue with those habits. But we will seek professional assistance, whenever we have got such cases, and we would continue. So that's how it is. It's quite complex. It's quite complex. So running a second division club or amateur club is not easy at all. In terms of resources and the fact that you can't really have full control over players, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and the mentality, that one, it goes a long way. So it's not easy to find players with the right mentality. So hopefully, if you get those ones, then, I mean, your chances of being promoted are very extremely possible. So talking about our ambitions this season, for the last 3 seasons, the transitional league, we ended number 2. So BMC from Marindal ended number 1, and we were number 2. So the league proper, we ended number 2 again. So Bibo Brothers was number 1, and then we ended number 2 in the stream, Marindal stream. And then last season we ended number 3. So it was Bibo Brothers, Marindal Nambol, and then us as Mighty United number 3. But as I said, I mean, when we realized that we couldn't be number 1, we were extremely disappointed. So while we are still, I mean, thinking about this issue of losing that match versus Bibo, we lost the match versus Flying Eagles of Marindal, and so I mean, that's how we ended up number 3. But talking about next season, we are still pushing. We need to pursue our dream of bringing first division football to Khibion. So we will continue with that particular fight. We will continue. We won't give up. We won't give up, I mean, as a football club, and hopefully this time around, I mean, we will be 4th time lucky. For the past 3 seasons, we did our utmost, but it was not enough. So I remember there were 10 games in the stream. We ended up winning 6 games, and in that other season, we actually won 6 matches, drew 2, and then lost 2. So last season we won 6, drew 1, and then lost 3. But as you can see, losing 3, it's too much. There's no way that you can win the stream. So you only have got a room for to lose 1 match only. So if you lose 2 matches, then you must know that you are out of the race, and that's what we will be striving for. To make sure that we push. If we can win all the matches, that would be great. But in football, it's quite difficult. It's impossible to achieve that. But we will try. We will try and see. So that's how it is. So this is a very short video where I wanted to introduce the football side of things, and my football philosophy, it's possession based football, where positional play is actually on top at the top level, and where I always try to create numerical advantages, qualitative advantages in football to see which of those we can exploit, issues around pressing triggers and traps. So those are the things we look into. And I'm a coach who actually enjoys challenges, so to compete versus the best coaches in the region. And there's one, Mr. Christy Gurusep. He is currently on national duty of the Brave Gladiators, and he's the head coach of Eagles FC, Marinda Flying Eagles FC, and I always enjoy it, to compete versus a coach like Christy with a relevant CAF license, so yeah, it excites me. Such battles excites me, and also some other coaches as well. Whereby if you play versus a particular club, then the tactical battle is there. You'd always see there are tactics at play, and so on. So yeah, that excites me. Above everything, and yeah. So that's basically my life, and in football. So please like and subscribe down below. Until next time. So see you again. So I will show you around the stadium a little bit, just for you to see, because this is the space from where I will be recording. I will be recording some of our matches. Our matches would take place, at this particular stadium, and yeah. So this is how it looks. So if you look at the back, there's a location called the Sunrise that's overlooking. I hope you are able to see this particular location. So it's a new location called Sunrise, and so at the back you would see Lucas Stefanus, and to the other side, just to take you there, that's called Khoekhoe-Linguist, and that's how it is. So thank you very much. Until next time.